to our Get Started with Vendasta session. Formerly Training Tuesdays, it still says Training Tuesdays on the slide, so we're going to call it that for now. But this is our webinar series hosted by the onboarding team, helping you get started with some of our products and areas of the platform. Today, we are going to be talking about Conversations AI, our tool, our resellable tool that you can sell to your customers for an AI chat receptionist, voice, and SMS functionality. I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of what that all looks like when ordering the product and choosing an edition, and then also how to use and modify prompts within the actual reception itself. To get us started, a quick intro. This is the onboarding team. We also have the fabulous Sarah Stark that you can see on the screen here. She's not on the slide yet, but you'll probably see her. Sarah, Nathan, and Hadley will be helping answer questions in the Q&A section here in today's session. And I will be your speaker taking us through Conversations AI. Quick housekeeping items to get us started. Is the recording? Yes, we will be posting it in our YouTube playlist after the session today. You can click that link on the screen to get to that existing playlist. Like I said, we'll add today's probably this afternoon. And if you have questions, please use the Q&A functionality in the right-hand side of your screen. That helps the team manage questions on the fly as we're going through today's session, and then also helps them line them up for me to do in our live Q&A at the end of the session. We'll generally have 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A at the end of the demo. And then replays, obviously, it's going to be on YouTube, so you can watch it as many times as you like. Share it with your team, share it with your friends, share it with your family, whoever you want to see these sessions. All right, I'm going to jump basically straight into a demo within our platform. But just to get us started, I like to give a little bit of an overview. What is Conversations AI? Why should you sell it to your customers? It's an intelligent receptionist. It's designed to automate lead capture, appointment booking, and customer inquiries across web chat, SMS, social media, and phone calls. So this 24/7 assistant helps your clients to never miss a lead or a message. It helps free up their staff for those higher value tasks. And it also, when you offer it to your customers, it helps them stand out. They're going to have faster response times, better customer service, and increased conversion rates. So that's kind of the why behind Conversation AI. And now what I'm going to take you into is the product page within the platform to help you understand the different editions of this product. Let me switch us over to, you can see my screen a little bit better. So within your partner center, under Marketplace, Discover Products, search for Conversations AI and click into this product page. You're going to have the overview of what is included with this product. There's some FAQs at the bottom, but I'm going to take us into this Editions and Pricing tab to just speak to the different editions. The standard edition of Conversations AI has the web chat functionality. So you can add it to your customer's website for that little bubble in the corner that's going to help answer questions and do any of the other functions that you have in their Conversations AI product. Standard includes web chat and also the social media functionality. In Pro is where you get the SMS functionality, so they can start to text their customers and have the AI handle conversations in that way. And then Premium is where the voice functionality comes into play. So in the product page, you can check out this Editions and Pricing to kind of see a nice breakdown across the different editions. A quick note here, standard for social and for web chat is available worldwide. The SMS and voice functionality are only available in the US and Canada at this time. So you'll see what all is included in there. Missed call, text back, AI responses to SMS. Right now, we have 300 minutes of, what we're planning for is 300 minutes of 10-minute calls per month in the premium edition. We have unlimited voice through the middle of this year is kind of the timeline for that as of right now, as a sort of special to our partners and their customers. So quick overview of the Editions and Pricing. Now I'm going to jump into the client portal business app to take us into the actual receptionist and start to go over how you build it out, and how you manage the settings of these different pieces of functionality. So let me hop over here. Now, in the Business App menu, we have this little AI section, and I'm on the AI Workforce tab. This is where you manage all of your AI agents for this customer. We have a couple different ones. I'm mostly going to focus on the chat receptionist and the voice receptionist today, but you'll see we have it tied to the reputation specialist. That's our reputation AI product. We're going to talk about that in a later session. But for now, we're going to click on Configure on the chat receptionist, just to start to understand how this is built out and to help you understand how you can make changes to it for your customer, or obviously how your customer can manage those changes themselves. So the chat receptionist is built out of three main portions. We have the profile, which I kind of call the backbone of your chat receptionist. We have it pre-designed with a prompt, and you will see if you make any changes to it. I'm even just going to add a couple spaces and hit save at the bottom here. You always have this little function. So if you make a bunch of changes and you feel like you broke something and you kind of just want to start back from zero, you can click this little arrow and it's going to give you roll back to the managed prompt, hit save again, and you kind of just reset so you can start over. You can obviously save the changes that you made and play around with it in different ways. The profile is also made out of the generative AI model. It's preset to our recommended one, but you can play around with that if you ever need to. Now, the next piece here is where it really starts to get fun. Capabilities are what your AI does. So by design, we have it set up to capture leads. That's kind of the main functionality of the chat receptionist as we've designed it in the system. So it's set up to prioritize collecting name, email address, and phone number from any leads that interact with the AI receptionist on a client's website. You'll see same kind of thing. You have a prompt pre-designed in here that can be tweaked or tailored depending on your client's needs. Definitely worth the workflow that I generally suggest that partners and customers follow is use the prompt as it's designed. If there's something that you know you're going to need to tweak, you can do that first. But once it's on the website, you can start to interact with it, ask it questions, and start to maybe tailor the workflows as you need to. I'm going to jump back real quick and talk about some other capabilities that we have here. So we have a couple pre-designed ones. This is a demo PID, or a demo account, sorry. So we're going to see a lot of stuff where people are testing and playing around with things. So we've got a bunch of different capabilities added here. I'm just going to highlight real quick this add a capability button at the bottom right-hand corner. This takes you to our list of capabilities. This is all capabilities across all of our AI agents. So you will notice sometimes things that are more tied to the reputation specialist than to the chat receptionist. But there are some other ones that you'll see, like all of these that are in here are pre-designed ones. So we've got some that already set up to help you and your customers have the AI handle things in the way that you want to, which includes things like access to a Shopify catalog and cart. So if your customers have a Shopify website or a Shopify store that they want the AI to be able to point people to, really fun stuff. You can have it manage the cart, have it send them to specific product pages, all sorts of fun stuff like that. We also have a book appointments functionality pre-built, which can be really nicely used to if your customer needs booking functionality and they want the AI to be able to provide that. We have that built into the CRM. They can set up their meeting link and then choose this functionality. And then I'll just click out of the modal here for a second. You'll see we have this one set up. Then they choose which booking link they actually want the AI to use to schedule those meetings. So some fun functionality there. Now you might have seen when we were in that modal that there is also the new capability button in the bottom left-hand corner. This helps you and your customers manage custom capabilities. Like I need my AI receptionist to do X, and that's not a pre-designed one. Cool, we have some custom ones that they can build out. For example, on this particular one, we created one to look up the weather forecast for a specific location. So this is kind of a fun one. The way that it's designed is you'll see we have a little prompt. when to call the Get Weather tool, which we have designed here. And this kind of just showcases that you can build custom capabilities and custom tools that are maybe more highlighted and more functionally necessary for different customers. So for this one, you know, maybe it's a beauty salon. Maybe someone is going to get their hair done and they want the AI to be able to say, you know what, it's going to be windy on that day. Make sure you're ready for your hairstyle to be ruined by the wind or something like that. Bring an umbrella, it's going to rain. So definitely some cool functionality that you can do there. We have done some more focused sessions on prompt engineering in the past that you can also check out on YouTube for the recording. Actually, sorry, this one's built into our webinar space, so you just register in there and then you'll be able to access the recording for that Prompt Engineering 101 that we have done in the past. Really helps you dive deep into that functionality. Now, the next piece of the AI agent that we're going to talk about is knowledge sources. Now, we are in Business App. This is the client experience. This is what your customers are going to see when you activate Conversations AI for them. Because it's tied to their business app account, it's going to automatically include their business profile. So you'll see on this knowledge source, you can click to manage the business profile. So if they need to make changes, maybe the phone number was wrong, or maybe they've got updated hours of operation, they can do that in their business profile here. It's also going to automatically include their website if their website is in their business profile. So when you added them as an account, you added all of their details from their Google business profile, had their website on there. It's going to include that as well. When it automatically includes the website, it does set it up in this workflow. So know that you can always come into this knowledge source and maybe change. It looks like we set it up with just the contact page as a single mode piece of the website. If the customer wanted their full website scanned, they would just put, for example, theglow2spot.com, and they would change this mode to follow links. So that allows it to go through the full website to find that information, or the sitemap if they maybe have hidden pages that they want it to understand as well. And then you can also choose to enable automatic refresh. So when changes are made to the website, the AI will rescrape to understand those changes. So keep that in mind as you're talking to your customer about knowledge sources for their AI, or as you're setting it up for them. Now you'll see again, test environment. We've got a bunch of different information in here as knowledge sources. I'm just going to highlight at the bottom of this block, this add knowledge functionality. So add new knowledge, click this little button, and we have 3 options. Website, we've covered that. You can add multiple websites. Maybe they've got a separate blog they want it to understand, or things like that. A landing page for a specific offering maybe. And then text, pretty straightforward. I usually recommend using this for FAQs. Maybe your customer tends to get a lot of the same types of questions, but they don't have those clearly outlined as FAQs on their website. This is a great way to have the AI understand those types of questions that a human generally would be able to answer. Putting that in as just text within the knowledge sources. And then file uploads. You can do lots of cool stuff with file uploads. You can do PDFs, images, CSVs, PowerPoint presentations, all sorts of files can be uploaded in here as knowledge sources. So again, can be really nice if they have a list of information about their services, maybe in a PDF that they want it to be able to answer questions about, or maybe pricing information that they want it to understand. So those are the 3 different ways that you can add knowledge. And then you'll see once you add knowledge, you can assign that knowledge to different AI agents. Maybe you don't need your chat receptionist to know everything about the things that maybe your reputation specialist needs to know, or your voice receptionist maybe needs a slightly different bank of information. Once the knowledge is added, you can assign it across your different AI agents by just choosing from the list here. Obviously, these ones are already assigned, so they're not showing up in the list because we already have them added to this particular AI agent. We have spoken more in depth about configuring AI receptionists in the past in a variety of different Vendasta spaces. But what I did want to just highlight lastly on here before we get into some of the AI voice functionality is this automation section. This is really helpful in building workflows for your customers. You can build it straight here on the AI receptionist page. If you click Manage Automations, it's going to take you to that space to start building, or you'll see in the left-hand menu of Business App, we have the automation section there as well. Really just designed to help automate these workflows further. So, anytime a lead is captured, you want to start them on an email campaign, or every time a meeting is booked, you want to notify a different member of the team. There's different types of functionalities that you can start to build within that system. Now, the next piece that I want to highlight is how we add or how we get you started with things like voice, SMS, and then the social media platform. So you'll see we already have them added for this particular AI receptionist, but I'm going to take us into the administration section here at the bottom left of Business App, and we're going to just scroll down to conversation settings here. Now you will see here we already have a assigned phone number for this AI receptionist, voice receptionist. If you hadn't, you're just starting with this customer, you just activated Conversations AI Premium for them, you would have a little button here that is claim phone number. It tries to get them one in their area code. If one isn't available, it goes next door, that kind of thing. And we have some additional configuration that we can take a look at in a second. But I also wanted to highlight down here all of the social integrations that we have. So we can have the AI manage Facebook messages, Instagram messages, WhatsApp, can all be connected in here based off of customer need, obviously. Once they're connected, they can be handled by the chat receptionist as well. But I'm going to just come back up here real quick and show some details around the voice receptionist. So we're going to hit configure, and it's going to take us into the actual voice receptionist. So same type of thing, role, capabilities, and knowledge. These can be assigned differently. On this page, you'll see we have an additional capability to transfer calls. So within that call, the AI can transfer to different numbers based off of different rules. So some fun stuff there. But I really wanted to highlight the settings in here. So just at the top of the page, this is where they can choose some of the basic settings for the voice based off of their existing business phone number. If they have a mobile phone for their business phone number, you can click in here. And now we're talking about forwarding calls to the AI, not the AI forwarding calls out, which is that transfer capability we just looked at briefly. So they have some preset rules that they can follow for a mobile phone. Forward calls if you don't answer after 10 seconds. Forward calls if your phone is off or has no signal. Forward calls if you have another call, if you're on another call, or if you decline the call. So these are kind of some pre-built ones that you can set up. Basically, all they need to do is on their existing mobile phone, they follow this instruction here. They call that number with those stars and numbers and hashtags, and it sets up that forwarding. We have a slightly different list for a landline because obviously slightly different experience. This is how they would set it up if their existing business phone number is a landline, to have the AI be forwarded to AI with those different rules. Now, when a call is received by the AI voice receptionist, before we set anything up, because obviously the phone number doesn't exist yet, it just says end call. So basically it just doesn't work. So you're going to want to make sure that you have it set to answer with AI. The same goes for when an SMS is received to that phone number, reply with AI. And then this little piece here, this is the generic follow-up SMS message that you can send. So after a phone call ends with the voice receptionist, this is just a sort of generic follow-up that they have. It looks like we didn't actually even add the link, but just gives them an option to book an appointment. And that's sort of the preset functionality in there. Now, the last thing that I will mention, if we just go back real quick to claiming your phone number. If you are based in the US, obviously voice and SMS only available in the US and Canada. In the US, there is an additional piece of registration you have to go to for A2P compliance. So before you go through that, there will be a little button that says register now. You'll have to click that button and add those details for the customer. So it needs some of their business details and their individual details to make sure this is a real person, a real business, and just make sure that we're following those compliance laws. So that piece would be on this conversation settings area under administration as well. We obviously sped through a lot of information there. I'm not sure if we had questions coming in through the Q&A, but we're at that Q&A point. So anything that we want to toss to me, go ahead.
Absolutely. I'm going to pop one up here right now.
Perfect.
From Serena. If a client has a cart, not specifically Shopify, can you edit the link to lead them to that catalog instead?
if my client has a cart, not specifically Shopify, how can you edit the links to lead them to their catalog? So in the existing capability, are you saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if our Shopify capability has that type of functionality. Like obviously ours is built for Shopify. You could build a custom capability, but we don't have a direct integration for something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well, Haley. Something like that could be built out in custom capabilities. If you're not sure how to build that out, we do have a technical customer success manager, wonderful CSM Brady. Reach out to your Vendasta salesperson or your onboarding specialist and say, I've got a custom thing I want to do with my AI. I'm not sure where to start. And they'll be able to connect you with Brady. He is fantastic. And essentially anything you want to do with AI, he could probably make it work.
Yeah, definitely. We have different workflows and obviously experts internally. Just to take us back to where we were in the platform before on the actual AI or under AI capabilities here, you have the option to create your own capabilities, build out the prompt, and potentially even, you'll see at the bottom here, add a tool like that call weather one that we had there. So again, test one, we've got a bunch of different tools that we've built in here. You'll be able to create your own new tools. You can do what's the word I'm looking for? Custom ones where it pulls information from different websites and things like that as you're building it out. Let me just jump back to where we were. Next question, we have more. Toss it up on the screen. Is there a rule book when creating a prompt? I see 2 hashtags being used throughout. Yes, so another great question. Nathan, if you want to toss up that prompt engineering 101 again, that's definitely going to do a much deeper dive than we have time for today. But what I would definitely recommend is our prompts are designed with what's called markdown formatting. So that 2 hashtags, 3 hashtags, basically when you have that 2 hashtags and then 3 underneath, we're saying like this piece with 3 ties to that top piece. You're kind of, it helps you build that cadence. You'll see, let me just jump back into our capture lead ones for an example. We have it designed with the, like we have an initial sort of important note at the top here. And then the contact information flow, you'll see below that, we have 3 hashtags to say, hey, this is step 1 as you get into that contact information flow. So first we want their name, then we want their phone number. When asking for phone numbers, make sure that we are validating these correctly and then acknowledge phone numbers. And then there's also even a little note here to like say, if they refuse a phone number, ask for the email instead, only ask for it if the user declines to provide a phone number. Is basically how we've prioritized it here. This can all be configured. And then you'll see now we have a second one with 2 hashtags to say, hey, we're out of the information flow for lead capture now and we're doing something else. So that's kind of how we have it designed within our prompts generally. Something that I always recommend as you're building out these things or maybe tweaking the existing prompts, a great tool is to put it into AI. What I've done in the past is said, like, you know what, I have this big, long, messy prompt, and I feel like my AI is always getting caught in loops, and it's kind of confusing itself, and it's confusing my customers. I've put that prompt into ChatGPT, and I've said, hey, here's a prompt designed for X reason. It's a lead capture AI tool on a customer's website. I have this prompt and a lot of functionality I want it to do. Can you help me simplify it? And then I just go through that conversation with AI and I help, and it helps me kind of streamline things. It makes suggestions based off of priorities that a customer might have. And then you can use that updated prompt and start testing it from there. All right. Are there default automations available? We do have pre-built templates. Let's jump to the automation section here on the left-hand side. So again, we have some additional test ones, but in here we have, and you're going to see this in your customer's business app, you have pre-built automation templates that you have access to. And in Partner Center, let me just switch screens here again real quick. So this is the Partner Center admin sort of view. You have your own automations tab and this template section. And you will see in the top right-hand corner, you can manage your client templates. So this helps you build things like, you know, maybe you always go after med spas and you have one type of automation that you want every one of your med spas to have access to. Create it as a template in here, and then you and your customers will be able to see it in the automations within Business App as well. So we do have some pre-designed. Some of them do tie into our different AI agents. Definitely worth exploring. And like Nathan said, if you are running into issues with automations or AI, you can always reach out to your Vendasta rep. I'll show you one more time back into Partner Center. You will have this little Talk to Sales button in the bottom left-hand corner of your Partner Center. This is a test bid, so we don't have a person there, but you can always click this contact, or if it's a direct person or a member of a team, you'll be able to reach out there and they'll be able to support you further. What do we have next? Do we have any timescale on voice in the UK, EU? As of right now, I don't have anything from our team. We don't have it, or we don't have a specific date within our roadmap. I know it is something that we are exploring, so hopefully we'll be able to update you on that further throughout this year, and we will obviously keep you posted as we make those changes.
In addition to that, I did pop a link in our Q&A answering this question. If you go to feedback.vendasta.com/changelog, you can keep an eye on the updates and the roadmap as it rolls out. So that's a good thing to bookmark.
Yes.
Again, it's in the Q&A, but
fabulous.
It's feedback.vendasta.com/changelog.
And here in Partner Center, in the little question mark in the top right-hand side when you're logged in at partners.vendasta.com, click the question mark and you will see Give Product Feedback will take you straight there, and you can do that. You can do that from within the platform as well.
All right, and we've got a couple more here.
Perfect.
Where are we here? Overlays. There we are.
Does it know not to respond?
Reference to the chat bot.
Yes, for sure. Does it know not to respond to bots, especially scammer bots? I would say no, not necessarily. I have seen partners build within their own AI receptionist, or for customers in the prompt for lead capture rules for that type of thing. But obviously the AI is going to interact with that conversation based off of its existing rules. And in that lead capture flow, we'll capture leads based off of what they receive for names, email addresses, and phone numbers. But what I will say, and I'm just going to jump back into Business App here real quick, in this conversation section, so obviously a lead is captured, we're going to save it in the CRM as a contact, and you'll be able to see that chat summary on that contact. There is also this conversation section where you can see all of the conversations that have been had with the team. So you'll see there's a bunch of internal folks who have been testing this one. It will show as a full conversation in here once it has been created. We also have this anonymous web visitors. So if someone doesn't provide contact information, it still lives in here. It was still captured by the AI, but we're not adding it as a full contact because they never gave us their name, their phone number, their email address. So what I have seen in the past is a lot of those kind of like bots don't give that information, so we can't save it as a real lead, but it is still in here. Maybe there's a person who refused, but the business maybe still wants to see the types of questions that are coming in. They can still review those conversations if they want to.
Awesome.
Perfect.
And our last question here as well. I did see a request. For our prompt engineering link. I'm going to pop that up on the screen. Feel free to open that in the new tab while you're listening. I'll just leave it there for you folks. But this is the last question we're going to cover today.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Does this have language translation, tourism industry Spanish? The AI itself is very good at changing language. What I definitely recommend, jump back into the AI workforce here real quick. In the configuration, you will see we even have it, I think, defined in the base role, where you can say, if someone asks a question in Spanish, it will default speak in Spanish. But if they say something like hola and then in English, it will respond in English because that was the primary language of that conversation. If the customer then switches and is speaking primarily in Spanish, it will continue that conversation in Spanish. It is designed to be able to understand multiple languages, and pivot as necessary to continue that conversation. What I have suggested in the past is to make sure that if you have a customer who works, half in Spanish, half in English, they might want to add some custom rules within their lead capture to clarify that with their customers as they're getting started. And I'm going to show one last thing. We're at exact time, but I'm going to show it real quick. The settings for the for the web chat lead capture here. You have a pre-designed initial message that you can have the AI send. I've seen people have it send a message that is in English and in Spanish so that the customer knows they can speak in either language and start that conversation in whatever way makes sense for them. Prompt engineering still there on the screen. The recording will be up on YouTube as of this afternoon. And if you have any questions, please come to your Vendasta rep. We are happy to help and excited to talk about AI all the time. Thanks so much, crew.
One little thing about languages, I just want to mention in that as well. We have up to 40 different languages that I can recognize, but if you want specific language to be your primary language, you're going to want to change that in the role. So for instance, if you want your AI speaking French primarily, add that as, use French as your default, and then switch if they use something else.
Change if necessary. Yes, absolutely.
And then just double check all your capabilities to make sure there's no quotation text that it says to offer specifically in English. Then you'd want to switch that to whatever language as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Great extra point. Thanks so much, Nathan. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Our next session is the week after next. And I believe we will be talking about the AI sales assistant. Is that right, Nathan? And you will be covering that session. So we will have Nathan on screen talking about our AI sales assistant the week after next on Tuesday. And we look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks, team. Bye, crew.